Good afternoon, everybody. This is Artis with Cajun Couple Trucking, and I'm here to do another video. I know it's been a while since my last one. As you can tell, I decided to work with Prime, and I am going through that. I've just finished my PSD training, which is the pad training, and I've got my TNT trainer. He's supposed to pick me up tonight or tomorrow, so I want to go through a little bit of what I thought about the PSD training, especially since I've been through it 3 times now. Once in the 90s for CR England, once in 2019 for school bus driving, and now, here. The big thing is it's all the same. You have to do the 3 sections of your test to get your CDL is your pre-trip, your backing maneuvers, and your road test. Now, what a lot of people don't realize is the pre-trip is not the same everywhere. Here, it depends on your state. Here in Missouri, they do it in sections. There's your engine compartment, your driver's side door and fuel tank, your coupling, your trailer, your lights, and your end cap. 3 of them are mandatory: the coupling, the end cap, and well, I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought. It happens. But I had to relearn it because I had to move things around. And for the school bus, the safety equipment is in your entry door area that you inspect. Whereas here it had to be on the end cap. So I went through the tests. I got to say that my PSD trainer was really great. I was warned that being as I had driven before, that I might have to dumb it down, pretend like I didn't know stuff like that, feel the trainer out, because some of the trainers, if you knew the stuff already, they wouldn't help you. And the pad setup is a little bit different here than in Louisiana or Florida, where I've taken them before. So I really needed to get the feel for the pad and get the marks, my reference points on the truck and on the pad, to where I could back into these maneuvers correctly. Now, in the real world, it's a fluid thing. If the truck on your right's a little bit more pulled out, you got to stick a little bit more to the left, stuff like that. But on the pad, the lines don't change. They're measured out to the exact fraction of an inch. On every pad it's exactly the same. Just turn this way or that way or this way. But all the maneuvers, you start at the same spot, you go to the same starting area, and then you back. My trainer, we talked for a little bit, and he was like, hey, as long as you can relearn this stuff and take my input, I'm cool with what drop your knowledge on the other students, stuff like that. So that's what happened. That's what we did. And it made it for a very enjoyable experience. I have not met one trainer out here, not one, that didn't do a good job. And I met a lot of trainers. Some trainers take their students out for 2 weeks, come back and test them. What I'm going to say is, if you are coming to Prime and you are doing the PSD phase, let me give you a few little tips. Number 1, do not study the pre-trip from front to back. Don't start at the engine compartment, then do the driver's side door, then do the coupling, then do the trailer, then do the lights. That's not going to help you, because they never go in order when they're giving you the test, all right? Number 2, you can get either a partial pre-trip or a full pre-trip. A lot of people pray for that partial pre-trip, but when you take the test, it's a possible 90 points for the whole test. You start with 0 every time you mention what you're supposed to mention what it is, how to check it, you get points. And with a full pre-trip, you need to make like 66 or 68 points. With a partial pre-trip, missing 1 to 2 sections, you have to make like 64 points. So you can miss a lot more on that full pre-trip. Another thing is everybody sweats the alley dock. Very few people fail the alley dock. What most people fail is running out of time on the parallel, or they fail in the in cab because they didn't do the safe start word for word or the brake check word for word. Those two are pass fail. Everything else is point based. Those two are pass fail. All right. So when you get here, when you get ready for your test, expect that they're going to have you do one section of the truck, then climb in the cab, do the in cab. Because if you're doing good and they expect you to pass the tester, they're going to take and they're going to do the in cab, because where most people fail is that brake check. Okay? Like they said, like I think they said 85% people fail on the brake check, and I believe it. All right. Another thing, if you can't remember what the part's called, don't flip out. Reach out, touch the part, and say this. I don't care if you call a tire a big black donut. As long as you're touching the item, they know you know what you're talking about. They know you're talking about this item. They know that you're talking about what you're touching. Then you go through properly mounted, secured, not cracked, bent, or broken, no abrasions, bulges, or cuts, filled to manufacturer specifications, stuff like that. All right. But just to tell you about what happened on mine, I got 4 points. Average is 11 points on the driving. It was raining, and it's just, I don't know. The tester told me that the lights have been acting weird, and they did. They stayed less than 1 second on the yellow. So I had to hit the brakes pretty hard, because if you're not in the intersection when it turns red, you fail automatically. So I stopped, and my bumper was in the white line. I wasn't behind it. Then my pre-trip, I got a perfect 90 points on it. And my backing, I got perfect on it. And none of my backing maneuvers took more than 3 minutes. So they were really happy with me, but I have had experience, a lot of experience. So to sum it up, I had a lot of fun, met a lot of friends, and I hope they stay in touch. And I hope they find this. By the way, if you're enjoying my videos, if you want to support me, if you want to do things like that, all you have to do is hit subscribe. It's not going to cost you any money. Hit the bell so that you know when I post a new video, and then comment on the section below. And that way it raises me up the YouTube algorithm. That's the 3 things that the algorithm works on, is how many subscribers you have, free subscription, just hit subscribe. How many people want to be notified when you have new videos, and how many comments. Now, I could add comments myself, but I want to respond to your comments, and I'm going to try to check daily. Sometimes that's hard to do, but I'm going to try to check daily and get in that rhythm. Now, what I'm looking for, well, let's go back to PSD training. PSD training, guys, you come up here, they're going to tell you, your trainer's going to tell you, pre-trip is your responsibility. If you have any questions, ask me. But pre-trip is your responsibility. Very few of the trainers go through the pre-trip. They're here to teach you the maneuvers, for one. For two, they're not going to schedule you for a test unless they're positive you're going to pass. They get a bonus, and you get a bonus too if you pass the first time. You get $250. They get a bonus, and they're not going to risk their bonus if they don't think you're ready. However, you get it in your head, you make a mistake, you start getting nervous, you start making more mistakes, and next thing you know, that 15 minutes per maneuver on the backing is gone. Okay? Remember, here's a couple of things to keep you going. Number one, that guy in the testing seat, that guy in that passenger seat testing you, that guy outside testing you, wherever he is, he's there to observe you demonstrate what you have already learned. All right? If you do a really good job, they give you a Class A. That's great. However, if that doesn't help you, think about you trying to teach somebody else your job. This is your job. You've learned how to do it. You know the pre-trip. You know the backing. You know how to drive. You're trying to teach somebody else. Get that in your mind. You're trying to teach somebody else. They're over there taking notes. That has helped a lot of our, and just about everybody in our class that wasn't kicked out for one reason or another, that they've passed and got TNT trainers and either waiting on them or already gone. Now, another tip I can give you is go out and practice with 1 or 2 other people. Try not to do more than 2, okay? Because it's going to simulate the tester and possibly a state trooper. Now, what they do is they come out, the state trooper grades the tester grades you. But it gives you a sense of 2 people out there with clipboards, all right? And what you do is don't start at the engine compartment. Start somewhere else, like coupling or trailer or lights or something like that. And you do your pre-trip on that section. Let them hold their paper and check off whenever you mention things, okay? Then they're going to tell you, perfect, or you missed this, and this. After you say, this section of my pre-trip is done. Like, this completes my engine compartment inspection. Okay. Then don't have them do the same one. Move down and do another one, and you help test them. Okay. And then keep rotating like that, and that helps you. It's going to help you in the long run. Now, there are rules here. Number 1, you can't sneak anybody in. You have to have a background check to come into these. Do not, if you get an Uber or a Lyft, meet them out in the front, outside the office, and don't badge them in whenever they come and drop you off. Okay. Number 2, no drinking, no marijuana. Had a guy right down the hall smoking marijuana. We could smell it. We were like 4 doors down from him. We could smell it every time he lit up. And they called security, had him removed. It's legal to smoke it here, but you can't operate a motor vehicle under the influence. We had 2 people kicked out of our class first night. They walked over to the bar at Fire and Ice next door at a hotel also owned by Rob Lowe, also holds our students. They went and got drunk, and they kicked them out. So you're coming here to get a career where you can make 6 figures a year, okay? 5 figures a year if you don't hustle. And you're going to jeopardize that because you want to drink and you can't drink, you can't go without 2 weeks drinking, or can't go without your marijuana or whatever it is. Don't, guys, don't. If you're going to come here, don't. And believe me, they are going to drug test you. If you don't have your physical already, you will get a drug test. They drug test you before they bring you up here. And then you can get pulled for a random drug test at any time, whether you're up here or you're out there. All right. Our next phase is the TNT phase, where it's the trainer and trainee. They've lifted it from 30,000 miles to 50,000 miles, which means I'm going to be on the truck a little bit longer than I was expecting. But I believe I got a lease trainer, so I'm going to be picking his brain, asking him questions, asking him if he can show me his statements every week, watching the freight lanes and all. I pretty much know them, but I want to get more intimate with the freight lanes and find out where I can make the most money, where I'm making good money coming in and bad money coming out, where I'm making good money going in and better money coming out, stuff like that, because produce is just about to take off. Now, we do plan on being with Prime for a long time, and maybe one day my wife will get her CDL, and we can do what they call super solos, where I drive 8 hours a day, she drives 2 or 3, and we get there a little bit earlier, and we can do 2 or 3 more loads a week. But until then, we're going to keep going. Hopefully I'll get some home time, but I doubt it until I get through the TNT, which my TNT phase should last till about mid to late June. Well, late May, early June to mid-June, somewhere around there, depending on if my trainer takes home time. Now, he lives in Pennsylvania, so I've already been told if he takes home time, he has to pay for me to be put up in a hotel because I can't stay in the truck. So that's, we'll see what happens. If he wants to go until my 50,000 miles are up, I'll go till my 50,000 miles are up. He'll drop me off here. I'll upgrade, and I'll wait for a truck. Hopefully it won't take long, or if it does take long, maybe someone will let me team with them until I get my truck. But I'm going to try to save some money just in case I got to be up here for 2 or 3 weeks without a truck. But as always, guys, if you have any questions, leave them down. And as always, I know I'm in the hotel room. My daughter's sleeping, so I'm trying to keep it down. She did come up here with me. She passed. She trifected, which is you pass all 3 tests the first time. So we each got a little bonus, which is great. And, so I'm trying to be quiet. And I got young Sheldon playing on up there. So I'm sorry about the TV. But I'll try to get another video out in the next couple of days if I can. And then I'm going to try to get one out every week while I'm on the truck, which is, if you think about it, 5,000 to 6,000 miles a week, going 50,000 miles, we're talking 10 weeks, maybe 12 weeks, depending on if we get caught somewhere or we get, delayed, something like that, a day or two between loads, stuff like that. So I've heard that my trainer is really successful, which means that he's going to know the freight lanes, so he's going to help me out with that. And I'm going to take notes. I got 2 notebooks ready to go. So as always, keep your shiny side up, your rubber side down, and your mirrors between the ditches. Y'all have a great day.